Hello, and today I'm going to be ranking every single episode of Loki. Now, this is probably an outdated topic I shouldn't be doing since Loki came out like a year ago or so, like the finale, but I'm gonna do it anyways. So yeah, at number 12, I have Lamentus. And honestly, this thing isn't even a bad episode. I think it's actually a good episode. It's just a little boring, and I just don't think it reaches the quality of the other episodes. For any other Marvel show, this would be like a except for like WandaVision, X-Men 97, and Agatha All Along. These would probably be one of the better episodes of the entire show. But yeah, Lamentus, in my opinion, is a good episode. There's some great moments. But yeah, it's a little boring, and it's nowhere near as good as the episode after this, and it's worse than the episode before. So yeah, I'll give it like a 7.5 out of 10. Well, at number 11, we have Breaking Bad, which I used to think was the worst episode in the show, but now I'm like, actually, it's better. It just feels like two episodes put in one. Like, one half is Brad trying to find out where Sylvie is and stuff like that. Then the other half is Sylvie being, like, Sylvie, and, like, she's at McDonald's, which I don't understand why there's a random McDonald's ad in there. But yeah, like, the Mobius and the Loki scene with the green pie, that's good. Brad is a neat character. It's neat to. I honestly love when the show shows off like Loki's powers, which happen to be in the last episodes on this list, or the worst episodes, because Lamentus shows the one where he pushed a building back in place, and here it shows his illusion power, which I really love. I really love when they show his powers. But of course they had to write it out because the TVA and stuff like that. But yeah. I think it's a good episode. I just think it needs like 2 episodes. It should be episode 2 and 3. Like, the multiverse just dies, which is very abrupt in my opinion. But I did really love this episode. So, not love. I did like this episode. So I'll give it like a 7.8 out of 10. It was good. Now, at number 10, a pretty big step up in quality, is The Variant, or the second episode, where Loki joins the TVA temporarily, and he discovers that where the other Loki variant, or Sylvie, is hiding is in these catastrophic events, because, I mean, what's going to happen? It's going to be wiped out of existence. So, yeah, I like this episode. It's really cool, especially the end in the Roxco Mall. I forget what it's called, but the mall in the future with the hurricane, Sylvie enchanting people, and then eventually, them going to TVA, her also basically doing a bomb from the multiverse, basically doing the opposite of what happened in Breaking Bad. Instead of destroying the multiverse, she created a lot of branches, which I honestly think is cool. I like the ending. It was just a great episode, in my opinion. So I'll give it an 8.4 out of 10. And in my opinion, you can probably swap it with episode 9, which is Glorious Purpose. The pilot one. The finale is going to be way higher. So, yeah. It was a good episode. It's actually a pretty good episode. It's nice to see Loki and Mobius banter, which is always nice. It's what carries some of these episodes. Like, Loki and the characters, just in general, are so good in the show. But, yeah. Loki and Mobius are cool. The TVA is cool. Him being abducted by this and going through the trial is honestly really cool. I do quite like it. And then the end where Loki sees his fate and the other Loki, I just really like it. I think it's a great start to a really, really great show. So I'll give it like an 8.5 out of 10. But at number 8, we have 1893, which is season 2, episode 3. Yeah, it honestly, I think is a pretty great episode. There's a lot of cool stuff. Renslayer, she comes back, which I think they could have done Renslayer just better in the show, especially season 2. Like, it feels like it's over for Renslayer. It's not over, but then she didn't do anything in Deadpool and Wolverine, which had a lot of stuff to do with the Void. But I feel like that her ending in Loki season 2 was just not right. But I think she was good in this episode. Victor Timely, I liked him. Although people didn't like the fact that he had to stutter, but I don't care. Yeah, I think it was honestly cool. Sylvie was good in this episode. Honestly, yeah, this episode is really just what is like great about Loki season. Like, just about Loki. It's like an average episode for Loki, but it's just a great episode. So, yeah. I'm just going to give it an 8.7 out of 10, which is great, in my opinion. Now, at number 7, we have For All Time Always, which, again, in my opinion, can be swapped with 1893. Mainly just because I did like this episode. The talk between Loki and He Who Remains and Sylvie and all that, their fight, I think is actually really good. Explaining the multiverse and sacred timeline and the Kangs, I think could have definitely led up to something better. But it didn't go well in Quantumania. Went well in Loki Season 2. Then they fired Jonathan Majors. So, now they're replacing him for Doctor Doom. This episode basically just feels pointless, sort of. Although it was good instead of Loki Season 2, which is really, really great. But, yeah, honestly, I do really like this episode. I just think, yeah, I really do like this episode. I think He Who Remains is a good villain. I think he is, has good, I guess, dynamics with Loki and Sylvie. I like how he knows everything they're gonna say, and see you soon, which, yeah, I think it's just a great episode. So I'll give it a 9.7 out of 10. Nope, 8.7 out of 10 as well. And yeah, it's really great. Now, number 6, we have Journey into Mystery, which is the one where they're in the void. I did really like this episode, especially at the end where Loki, classic Loki, makes the fake Asgard to trick Goliath, and he dies, fulfilling his glorious purpose. And when they explain how they got here, Mobius is also cool. I like Renslayer and Miss Minutes thing, also with Sylvie. I just really like this episode. It's actually a really great episode, in my opinion. So, I'm going to give it a 9, just a 9 out of 10. But at number 5, we have Ouroboros, which is the Season 2 premiere. It's definitely a step above the Season 1 premiere, by almost a whole point. But, actually more than a whole point. But yeah, I really do like this episode. I love this episode. It's really great. Loki's time slipping was really cool. Him getting pruned set up for a good mystery. There's some great Mobius and Loki banter and their conversations and stuff. Ouroboros, who the episode's named after, is a really great character, played by a really great actor. And yeah, I'm glad they didn't go for the fact that he's a new TVA where they don't know him, because it basically just have to build up to the Season 1 relationship, which would really suck because I love the Season 1 relationship with them just in general, like Mobius, B-15, and Loki. I just really like that. And I'm glad they added a new person here who is just as good. So, yeah. And there's just a bunch of cool moments, like the speech that He Who Remains was giving to Renslayer, which we hear more of in Heart of the TVA. I just really, really love this episode. So, yeah, I'm going to give it a 9.6 out of 10, which is really, really good. But something not way better. But at number 4, we have science fiction. Yeah, this, the last 4 episodes of Loki are basically perfect. Like Heart of the TVA and Glorious Purpose are perfect. Like perfect 10 out of 10s. Science fiction, not quite, but I think it's really up there. Like they basically have perfect like ending with those last 3 episodes. But like that doesn't matter. Yeah, I really, really love this episode. Seeing them all grouped together, it's basically, and yeah, I know I was just saying how I don't want them to lose their connection, but this was a great way to show how. Loki learning how to control time slipping, it was definitely like on like first watching it, definitely like one of the more satisfying, like definitely probably the most satisfying thing in like one of these TV shows, where it feels like this is where it was always supposed to go. Like this is the penultimate. Like this is a great episode before the finale. It sets it up so well. I just really love this episode. Like it's so good. So yeah, I don't really have much to say, but it's fantastic. So I'm gonna give it a 9.8 out of 10. It's near perfect. But what is perfect is the next 3 episodes on this list. First of which being the Heart of the TVA. I mentioned it earlier, and for most of the Marvel TV shows, this would be the best episode out of the entire thing, except for maybe WandaVision and Agatha All Along, because I'd say, oh, also What If with the Strange episode, but you get the point. This is such a good show, or episode. I just love it so much. Renslayer gets the speech, and it's like sort of support the theory that she was the one who really built the TVA, and was the person who led Kang to win the multiversal war. And I still think that means that she tamed Goliath, but whatever. Yeah, I really love this episode, especially the ending. Like that ending was actually really, really good. It is probably the best cliffhanger an episode in like Marvel has left us on, for, like awaiting for the next episode of the show. So yeah, that's my opinion. I think this episode was just perfect. So I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Although another episode 4, which I think is slightly better, is the Nexus event. It's the first episode 4 of this show. I think it was the second episode, and that started the episode 4 for Marvel. It's just absolutely crazy. And yeah, this was a really great episode. I mean, what else am I supposed to say? I think there's only been like one episode 4 that is not like one of, if not the best episode of the season, and that'd be X-Men 97, where it's actually the worst episode in the season, in my opinion. But yeah, I really did love this episode. Sylvie and Renslayer were great. Loki was great. The beginning was great. Loki going through that, and like Mobius saying like whatever, like him realizing that he was basically stolen, and when especially the moment where like Renslayer found out and was going to prune him, he was like saying how like when they were talking about how if they can go to any time and place in the multiverse, where it would be, and he now says that where he was taken from. I really like that. I really did. I think it was just a great moment. I'm so glad that he lived, but it went for a great moment. The timekeepers being fake was also just crazy for the moment, but I love this episode. 10 out of 10. But obviously, number 1 is Glorious Purpose, the finale. It is perfect. The multiversal tree, Loki and time slipping, them going everywhere, especially He Who Remains and going back to the finale. I love it, okay? It was absolutely perfect, and I really just don't have anything to say about it. It's just so perfect. So, that's my opinion. Bye.